All right. Hi, guys. Natalia Clack is here from Easy Super. Today, we are going to talk about cryptocurrency in the self-managed superannuation funds. The name of the webinar, Navigating Opportunities, Compliance, Protecting Your Retirement Savings, because the sole purpose of SMSF is providing the benefits for your retirement. All right, so Natalia Clack, myself, I'm director of Easy Super, and we have Matt from Crypto Tax Calculator, CTC. He's partnership manager. He will be joining us and join me on the different slides and talk about cryptocurrency from Crypto Tax Calculator perspective, what they've seen, because Crypto Tax Calculator, if anyone is not aware, they are crypto tracking software. So this is where all the wallets, blockchains come together, and you get a report, combined report for all your crypto investments. All right, so first we start with a disclaimer that information provided in this webinar is a general information only, and it's not advice because I didn't consider your personal circumstances, objectives, and needs. So my name is Natalia Clack. Like I said, if someone doesn't know me, I've been doing SMSFs for 20 years. I'm a SMSF specialist, a SMSF auditor, tax agent, and also a SMSF advisor. So I won a couple of awards last year, which I'm very proud of about, including SMSF Advisor of the Year. So, and we started getting, I'm a SMSF specialist, like I said, I always had SMSFs only, like dealing with SMSFs only in my business. But a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we started getting a lot of crypto inquiries from the clients who wanted to invest or already invested in cryptocurrencies. And this is where we started also specializing in crypto in SMSF. So let me tell you that there are not a lot of SMSF specialists in this country who also are crypto specialists. There are crypto accountants there, but SMSF is a very different entity compared to the companies or individuals, and there are additional requirements because of the SIS Act, and this is what regulates SMSF space. So we will look today, I also have to introduce you Matt. Matt is a partners manager for Crypto Tax Calculator. Again, Matt will talk about cryptocurrency and tax, and from the perspective of the experience which he has as a manager at the Crypto Tax Calculator, and they have 250,000 accounts, crypto accounts under the umbrella, which is very impressive. So a lot of data, and 40% of these accounts, they are Australian accounts. So it's exciting to hear from Matt as well, from his perspective, what's going on, so he can share experience. So, all right, so I have to do another disclosure. So if you came here for the tips about the cryptocurrency, it's the wrong webinar. So we're not going to talk about which cryptocurrency to buy. We're not going to talk about how to become a millionaire overnight. We are not sharing any crypto hottest tips. This webinar is not about what to buy. It's about how to buy in SMSF, how to invest superannuation funds into the crypto, and but decision about investment is yours. All right, let's start with the crypto in SMSF and the latest trends. Like I mentioned before, I've been dealing with crypto clients for the last 4 or 5 years, and there are a lot of inquiries which come in our way, because we've been dealing with a different and complex clients. Some clients are simple, some clients are complex. So what we've seen in this past 5 years, I'm going to share with you guys today, and hope you are not going to make the mistakes which I've been seeing a lot, because purely because people don't get the right information. They don't know where to find the right information. Not a lot of SMSF specialists dealing with crypto, and people make mistakes. So first of all, you have to understand that cryptocurrency is the fastest growing asset in SMSF from the ATO statistics. What it means, in terms of the total assets, it's still very, very small percentage of SMSFs invest in cryptocurrency. It's less than 1% of SMSFs invest in cryptocurrency. However, it's the fastest growing assets in the last 3 years. So what it means, it's getting bigger, and and more SMSFs invest in cryptocurrency. You have to understand that there are a lot of gray areas in legislation and regulation of cryptocurrency. And this is something because the cryptocurrency is a very, very complex asset. And I've dealt with ATO in regards to cryptocurrency in SMSF. I have clients who made mistakes investing in crypto, and ATO came after them and audited them. So like I said, I've dealt with ATO a lot. And I can share with you that even with Australian Taxation Office, they don't have a complete understanding about the cryptocurrency because there are gray areas in legislation, because they don't know how to treat one case or another case. But however, it's on ATO radar, and if you know, it is on ATO agenda. So in the next, I think this year and the next year, it's going to be big for legislation change in cryptocurrency space. So watch out for these changes. Another trend, and which I don't like, personally I don't like, low balances, SMSF. So I have a lot of, again, new clients coming from the different providers, accountants with a very low balances, SMSF balances, say like 50, 80, $100,000 balances, and they invest in 100% or 99.9% of their funds into crypto. Usually, it doesn't end up well. The first issue, a low balance, because the fees on SMSF accounting and audit every year are quite high. So when you have a low balance, when you have a balance of 70 grand and you pay in high fees, your fees are eating all your balance. Second, as you know, the cryptocurrency, at the moment, it's a bear market. I mean, starting being a bull market, but again, we don't know. It might be just, you know, like a little bit of growth. But when you invest in cryptocurrency and it goes down, you cannot sell it. So low balance is experiencing cash flow issues, experiencing capital loss issues. So yeah, but this is a trend. A lot of younger people with low balances starting in SMSF, and I'm not sure, they have to ask their advisor if it's the right thing to do for them. All right, lack of education. This is with every single new client, they come to me. Again, it's a lot of lack of education. The people ask me questions, and straight away I know that when someone set up a SMSF for them, they didn't provide the right information, and people lacking this education, not only about SMSFs and how they operate, what you can do, what you cannot do, but also about crypto in SMSF, because again, it's a complex asset. And a lot of people have multiple wallets and accounts in SMSF. This is another trend which we've noticed from our clients. And again, I will talk about multiple wallets and accounts and why it's not could not be the right solution for SMSF. I'm going to talk about it later on, but this is a trend. And growing number of SMSF auditors contravention, of course, because a lot of auditors, I'm a SMSF auditor myself, and you have to understand when I go to SMSF auditors conferences, most of people, 90% of the room will be auditors, I mean, auditors over 50, sometimes 60. When you think about auditor, usually auditors are quite conservative, And when they look at cryptocurrency in SMSF, and there are so many issues, they just prefer issue a contravention report, because when they issue contravention report, it says, I just didn't have enough evidence. So I don't know if these assets exist, if the market value is correct. So it's easier for SMSF auditor, especially if they don't understand this type of, this class of assets. It's easier for SMSF auditor just to issue the auditor's contravention report, because it protects the auditor. You know, like under CIS Act, under the auditor standards, the auditor has to make sure that they understand the assets and these assets exist. So these trends are from my experience, but Matt, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, sure. Those are some really good. I think you've identified some really good points there. I felt like number 3 with the low balances, SMSF. I think that was targeted towards me. I am one of those clients who do have a crypto SMSF, but I do throw most of it into crypto. So maybe I probably do need an advisor in that sense. But yeah, as you mentioned, like crypto, it's really seen as the fastest growing asset. In December 2020, you had about 168 million only in crypto SMSFs. A year later, in December 2021, that grew to 227 million. And then the latest statistics from the ATO, which was December 2022, we saw about $1.5 billion in crypto SMSFs. And that was when Bitcoin was at a price of 16K. So as you can imagine now, you know, hopefully we're at the start of a bull market. You can probably imagine the amount of money that is flown into crypto SMSFs tends to be a lot higher. So we really do need, I guess, that education gap with people who are looking to get involved in that sense. What we've seen as well is with that number, there's close to 5 million just individuals, Australian individuals who are invested in crypto. So it is a growing asset class. I don't think it's going to go away. So, you know, getting guidance from people like Natalia here to actually help you set everything up with your SMSF, that is a really good idea. You just want to make sure everything's safe and secure and you're doing things properly if you are going to get involved in crypto. What we're noticing as well, sort of to point number 5 here, we are seeing people tend to create new and multiple wallets. People started to see that every now and then there are dangers with using centralized exchanges. So if you follow crypto closely, you'll probably notice that Binance tends to have a lot of issues, along with a few other exchanges I won't name. But essentially what we're seeing people do is they're actually moving their holdings from a centralized exchange over to an on-chain wallet. So if you're familiar, you probably know like a cold hardware wallet, like a Ledger or Trezor. It makes your crypto holdings much more safe. So we are actually seeing quite a few people move over in that sense. And essentially using a cold wallet, it makes your keys inaccessible until you actually need them. Whereas if you use something like a centralized exchange, you know, Binance could get hacked at any moment and you could lose your SMSF holdings, which would not be ideal. But yeah, I think, Natalia, you've touched on the general trends that we're seeing at the moment in Australia.
Okay. And it's interesting because when you said about multiple wallets, and we are going to talk about it later on, or hot and cold wallets, they say there is a contradiction from the SMSF point of view, because you want the auditor to easily see, you know, like all your holdings, but at the same time, which would be the exchange, centralized exchange, but at the same time, from the safety point of view, from the point of view of you want your cryptocurrency, like be in a safe place, it actually contradicts this, you know, auditor's requirements. So, but anyway, so we are going to discuss it later on and see, you know, how probably you can do both. You can have your security and safety, and at the same time, you can satisfy the SMSF auditor. All right. So what do you need to know before investing in you know, your SMSF assets cash into the crypto? You need to have SMSF, obviously, so you need to establish SMSF, and it's a process. It's an expensive process. It takes time, and it takes some effort to set up SMSF. It's not a 1-hour process. You have to review your trust deed. If you already have SMSF established, you have to review trust deed to make sure that trust deed allows or at least doesn't prohibit investment in cryptocurrency. If you have SMSF and trust deed is older than 10 years old, you should review your trust deed to make sure that there are no restrictions. Formulate investment strategy before you invest in cryptocurrency. You need to, because regulation 4.09 requires you as a trustee of SMSF to formulate, implement and regularly review the investment strategy. Obviously, cryptocurrency will change the investment strategy in terms of diversification, in terms of the risk, because it's a very risky asset. And so you need to review your investment strategy and make sure you understand the rules. This is where, again, another trend which I've seen. When we set up SMSF, when I talk to my clients and we set up SMSF for them, I spent 2-3 hours on education about what you can do, what you cannot do, explaining the regulation, explaining how SMSF works. I spend a lot of time on it because it's very important for my clients not to make mistakes. I can fix any mistake almost in SMSF, right? But I prefer to prevent the mistakes rather than fixing them. And you need to talk to a SMSF professional, not just your crypto advisor, not just to your accountant, because a lot of general accountants, they wouldn't know all ins and outs about SMSFs. I'm not saying your accountant is bad. I'm just saying that SMSF is a very specific investment vehicle, and there are a lot of rules, especially with cryptocurrency, which are very easy to breach. So which is why you need to talk to a SMSF specialist. So, right. So why we talking about crypto in SMSF and why is it so attractive? Of course, because of tax, because it's a most tax concessional vehicle in Australia. It's like tax haven. Maximum tax you pay is 15%. So who is paying 15% tax in their individual tax return? No one, unless you make less than 20 grand or something. Sorry, unless you make basically almost nothing. So you pay 15% tax. You pay 10% tax if you hold your assets for more than 12 months. The capital gain becomes 10% tax, and you pay 0% tax. Once you move to retirement stage, you pay 0% tax. And this is where SMSF becomes even more appealing for older people, because what does it mean moving into retirement stage? It means there are 2 conditions. One condition, you have to reach the age of 65. If you reach the age of 65, it means you can be moved into retirement stage. It means your account, SMSF account or any superannuation account in a larger fund becomes so-called unrestricted, unpreserved. And what it means you can withdraw your money at any time. And at the same time, it means that you start paying 0 tax on any income which belongs to this balance. So any income, doesn't matter if it's interest, if it's dividends, if it's a stake in rewards, 0 tax. Also capital gain, 0 tax. So you have to reach the age of 65. It's one condition, or the other option is reaching the age of 60 and retire. So if you reach the age of 60 and retire, you have to quit at least one of full-time employment. So if you have only one employment, it's one employment. This is only you can quit. If you have 2 jobs, say you working on 2 jobs, you can only quit 1 job. But you have to reach the age of 60. So basically, after these conditions, one of those conditions met, you become tax-free. Your income becomes tax-free in SMSF. You also can withdraw your money at any time. You can withdraw the full amount, which people usually don't, because if your money are working outside of super, you pay tax. depending on if it's under your individual name or in the company, you pay different level of taxes. But if your money are working and making your money in SMSF, you pay 0 tax after these conditions. But even before that, even before 60, like say, for example, you're like Matt, you are very young and investing in crypto, and say you make a lot of money, again, you just only pay 15% or 10% if you hold the assets for more than 12 months, which is again, like amazing tax concession, considering the other taxes we pay in Australia. The only downside, of course, until you are in retirement, again, age of 60 or 65, you cannot use this money. So you cannot spend it, you cannot enjoy them. So Matt, if you make a lot of money, you'll have to wait until you at least 60. And yeah, at least this is a current legislation. Who knows what will happen in the future? But this is the case. So if you make millions in your SMSF, so you just have to wait and pray to get older sooner. All right. So do you want to add anything, Matt?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, look, the 10% is a very attractive capital gains tax rate, especially, if you're doing crypto stuff as an individual, and you make a lot of money, that percent is a lot higher. But yeah, as you said, the downside is I've got another 40 years or so until I can cash anything out. But at the same time, it is for retirement, so it does all pay off. But yeah, I guess the reason why you would see SMSFs, crypto SMSFs specifically, have really blown up, specifically within the last 6 months. We've noticed if you use like a crypto exchange, you'll notice a lot of them actually have a new tab for SMSF. So they are really trying to onboard a lot of users. But the whole purpose is, I guess, people see crypto as a way to diversify your portfolio. At the moment in your SMSF, you might have stocks, bond, maybe some precious metals, maybe just sitting in cash. But a lot of people are saying like crypto is going to be the 12th sector of the S&P. So, whether you believe it's the future or not, a lot of people do see it as an alternative to a broken monetary system that we have at the moment. I think it's pretty obvious that the banking system right now is quite corrupt. I won't get into the politics of all that, but I think crypto is quite a nice alternative in that sense. So diversifying, we're not here to tell you how much you put in it, but I think even just having a couple percent is good for diversification purposes. It's also that risk to reward with crypto. As Natalia mentioned, it's the fastest growing asset class. You've seen the returns. Obviously, if you invested 5-10 years ago, the returns are astronomical. Not to say that you are going to make that, but when people see the risk to reward, they do see that as quite attractive. And also, as I mentioned, crypto has been the best performing asset class over the past decade. If you look at the second best performing asset class, that's actually the NASDAQ 100. Crypto has outperformed that by over tenfold. So that's, I guess, just the potential that you have with crypto. But again, not any financial advice, not saying you're going to make money, but it is seen as a nice way to diversify. And yeah, like Natalia said, those tax benefits, if you're paying 10 to 15% tax, that's amazing compared to, me, if I made a lot of money in crypto right now, just on my individual account, not with my SMSF, I could be paying 30-40% capital gains tax. So a lot of incentives, but you just want to make sure that you have that investment strategy with you and you go with the right people to actually set everything up, like Natalia here.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. So it's nice to hear from someone who is 20, right? And talking about SMSF. So, but anyway, so let's all right, let's go to the heavy stuff. So what you should never do with crypto in SMSF. So these are the basics mistakes which people keep making, and it's very common mistakes, which is why, I put them all here. All right, use the same account or wallet for SMSF and personal coins. I still have a lot of people, they don't know that assets of SMSF, they have to be held separately from their own assets or any of assets of any other entities. And with coins, it's sometimes people, for example, buy their wallet and they don't want to buy another one because it costs like $500 or $300 or $700, and they just put all their coins, personal coins and SMSF coins in the same wallet. You cannot do that. Assets of SMSF has to be kept separately. Second mistake, again, we've seen it a lot, not from our clients, from coming in clients. Do margin trading with SMSF. So basically, there are platforms which offer margin trading. You cannot borrow in SMSF. The only borrowing you can do is a limited recourse borrowing arrangement, and it's a separate arrangement, and it's only could be done for shares or properties. So you cannot use margin trading in SMSF. So it will be a breach of Section 67 straight away. Lose your crypto details. This is not only for, obviously, for SMSFs. This could be relevant to any personal coins or company coins. Obviously, when you invest in something, keep it safe, keep your record somewhere, keep it safe, put it in your, I don't know, like safe or somewhere, like people can't hack you, but don't lose your crypto details, especially in SMSF, because if you lose them and these coins are in your individual name, you'll just have a loss, capital loss. But if you lose in SMSF, you also will have a contravention report from the auditor and potentially for the fines from ATO fines. And each fine is, yeah, I'll tell you how much it is later on because it's expensive exercise. In specie transfer of personal coins into SMSF, again, people still keep doing it because you can do in specie transfer of shares. You can transfer your personal shares into SMSF as a contribution, or you can buy your shares from yourself. SMSF can buy shares from yourself. You cannot do it with crypto. Crypto is not it's not the asset class. You cannot in specie transfer of personal coins into SMSF, or SMSF cannot buy your personal coins from yourself. Take an excessive risk by going for high risk, high returns investment options. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Some of them are legit. Some of them and will provide you with high returns. Some of them are very risky, and the platforms or accounting, also people associated with these platforms, they go down. They go down, and you think you're making all this money, but you will just lose all your investments. So again, with SMSF, I would not advise to take any extra risk. All right, chase the low gas or account fees. So this is again the trend which I've noticed with the clients. People start opening multiple accounts because some exchanges provide lower fees than the others, and however, it adds a complexity for the accountant and it gets complexity for the auditor. So they end up paying low gas fees but high accounting fees and potentially contravention report from the auditor. But because when the auditor sees, like 20 exchanges, 10 wallets, and tries to figure out what's happened, even if you have, say, the report from crypto tax calculator, the auditor will still have to do the sample testing of the transactions. And when you have a multiple wallets, platforms, and transactions, because you're chasing the low gas or accounting fees, it doesn't make a lot of financial sense because you're paying more. You end up paying more with to the accountant or to the auditor. So yeah, this is what you shouldn't be doing. It's just like a basic things, and this is what you shouldn't be doing in your SMSF. Matt, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think you touched on a really good point with talking about taking on excessive risk and the margin trading stuff. You do see a lot of people, even like myself, who with my crypto SMSF, I want to invest in, NFTs. I want to do short-term trading. I want to use leverage, do lending and bonds, and all sorts of things that I do with my individual account. But at the end of the day, you do need to make sure with your crypto SMSF, you do keep things simple. Most people, they might just buy Bitcoin or Ethereum and just hold that. Um, if as soon as you start getting messy, that becomes a bit of a problem. The ATO probably won't be happy with that, and you're making life for people like Natalia a bit stressful when you're doing all sorts of things. So with your crypto SSF, you really want to keep things as simple as possible. Another thing Natalia sort of touched on is you want to make sure you're using exchanges that are safe and secure. Don't use dodgy exchanges. Don't use exchanges where you don't have to KYC. That's a huge red flag. The ATO will most likely pull you up on that. You're best to stick off with Aussie exchanges like SwiftX, Independent Reserve, CoinSpot, BTC Markets, and they've all got really good support when it comes to supporting SMSF clients. Another thing that's not on this list, but that is quite important, is don't forget to keep accurate records of all your transactions. So people, they often do a bunch of transactions and they don't stay on top of every transaction they do. And with SMSF trustees, they do have an obligation when it comes to reporting and record keeping, which we will get to at a later stage. So it's pretty much the same way when you have obligations when you invest in crypto. You do need to make sure you have those end of year reports to send to your advisor or to send to the ATO so that they're happy with that. And the last thing I'd say here is don't be clueless when it comes to knowing about crypto taxes. Spend the time to actually educate yourself, because I can tell you now, if you decide to just set one up, invest in whatever you want to invest and not do your proper due diligence, you will most likely face a lot of penalties and fines from the ATO. So it is really important, even just by taking a step to join the webinar, educate yourself, do things properly, because it will save you a lot of trouble a bit later on.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, when clients come to me and say, I want to do crypto and SMSF, again, without providing the advice, I say to them, try to keep it simple. Try to not do any exotic things, high-risk things. Do it outside of SMSF if you want to do it. So if you're really, really keen of doing, like all these extra risky or extra complex transactions in SMSF, keep it simple. But again, we will talk about it later on when we look at one of my clients. All right, so when SMSF will have to pay tax, obviously some people don't even know that. So with the crypto in SMSF, you pay tax when you sell cryptocurrency, when you swap cryptocurrency, then you receive airdrops, then you receive interest and rewards, then you do coin sacrifice, when you do crypto mining, when you do lending and liquidity pools and receive some income from that. So basically, all these events, they will end up with a tax paid on this income, if there is income. For example, sell and swap crypto. Swap crypto is like selling event. So obviously, if you make capital gain, you pay tax on it. If you make capital loss, you offset it against capital gains from other coins, or you carry forward. So, but you have to understand, so whatever you do with crypto, before doing anything, you have to understand if you have to pay tax on it, and when you have to pay tax on it. So because you might end up paying a lot of tax, not even understanding why, but this is because, like I said, every transaction, like swap, for example, of crypto, it's a capital gain event. So there is tax if it's capital gain, or if it's capital loss, like I said, you just offset or carry forward. So there are a lot of new things coming on the market. Again, every month there is some new project, and sometimes people call it differently, but you have to look at the base of transaction. So for example, if it's a coin sacrifice, again, it's not a tax-free transaction. When you sacrifice one coin to another and get another one, or sacrifice coins and get tokens or whatever, you actually, again, you're selling one coin and you're getting the other coin in return. So So yeah, so you basically, any project, you have to talk to the SMSF specialist or at least a tax accountant, so who can advise if it's a taxable event. So don't jump on it if someone says, oh, you don't pay tax on this event, because it might not be true, and most likely it is not true. So you talk to tax professional about it. Yeah, so do you want to add anything, Mark?
Yeah, just one thing that's not in this list, I think a lot of people miss, is when you transfer crypto either from one of your exchanges to another exchange or to a wallet, you almost all the time you'll have a fee involved, whether it's a transaction fee or a gas fee. If you're doing it on chain, that gas fee can be quite high. I've paid gas fees which have been over a few $100s, unfortunately. But that gas fee itself is actually a capital gains tax event, which a lot of people don't know. So essentially, anytime you transfer your crypto, you might think it's not a capital gains tax event. It's not in the sense of the transfer because you're not losing ownership, but when you pay the fee, you're essentially selling your crypto to use it as a fee. So essentially, every transfer transaction, if there's a fee, will also be a capital gains tax event. So
yeah, actually, very good point. So that's right. So yeah,
yeah.
it's because but to pay for the gas, you have to actually use the coins. So once you use the coins, it's like selling the coins. You pay tax.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes people go, oh, I haven't got any capital gains tax event transactions. I'll look at their ledger and there's like 500 different fee transactions. And then I have to tell them, hey, you have 500 capital gains tax event from this year. And they struggle to understand. But yeah, it's small things like this that you don't pick up because crypto is very special and particular in that sense.
Yeah, actually, very good point. Very good point. Because I know. So it's a lot of people don't know about that. But yeah, all right. So gas fees. It's another like capital gain event. So excellent. So all right, SMSF auditors qualifications and contraventions. So when because I'm a SMSF auditor myself, so I know exactly what SMSF auditors are looking for and what evidence they need to get in order to not to qualify the audit report. So when the auditor has not enough evidence of existence of the coins, this is where they can qualify the Part A. So what it means if you keep your coins on some blockchain or some wallet and there is no evidence that these coins existed at 30th of June, the auditor will qualify a report. So the auditor has to have this confirmation of existence. The auditor doesn't have confirmation of SMSF ownership of the coins. This is, for example, again, if you have any wallet, blockchain, any account, and it's not under SMSF name, which in most cases could not be under SMSF name because you just put the email address and this is how you create an account, then you have to provide the evidence, which would be like declaration, for example. This is what we do, that this particular blockchain, wallet, account, etc., belongs to the super fund, and you hold it in trust for the SMSF. So it's very important to provide the evidence to the auditor. No confirmation of market value of coins at 30th of June. This is a case when you invest in exotic coins, tokens, projects, NFTs, and every asset in SMSF must have a market value and must have evidence of market value at 30th of June. When you have NFTs, for example, which are not, say, it's not on a platform, it's not tradable NFTs. So how can we determine the market value? What is the market value of this particular NFT at 30th of June? If the auditor doesn't have this market value confirmation, they will contravene the auditor's report, which is again, this is again for the case when I say try to keep it simple, don't invest in exotic projects or coins or NFTs. Too much risk taken by SMSF trustees. Again, Section 62, the sole purpose of superannuation is providing benefits for your retirement. So if you're taking excessive risk, is it for the benefits? Is it for your retirement? Or you're just not dealing as a SMSF trustee, you are not dealing with diligence as a SMSF trustee. So if the auditor doesn't like the amount of risk you've taken, if you lost a lot of crypto because of this excessive risk you've taken, so the auditor might qualify the audit report, because it's remember, the auditor's report is the auditor's opinion. So an opinion could be quite harsh for crypto enthusiasts. No diversification of the investments. Again, ATO and legislation requires us to diversify in SMSF, to consider diversification. If you have not done your investment strategy correctly, if you don't diversify, if you invested 100% of your coins, sorry, of your cash in a cryptocurrency and didn't reflect it in investment strategy, didn't explain it in investment strategy, why you've done it, so the auditor can qualify the report as well. Poor record keeping, this is what Matt was saying, always keep your records, always, every single transaction, you need to have an evidence. If you have, if you use like platforms like Crypto Tax Calculator, or if you, even if you have just your spreadsheet, done it in a spreadsheet, worst case scenario, you still have to keep these records, which is, for the records, I would recommend you doing like screenshots. I would recommend you having like CSV files. Again, if you don't use the Crypto Tax Calculator for any reason, if you don't use the crypto tracking platform, so at least keep all your records as a manual records or as a CSV files or whatever you can get out of the platform, because very often, say you invest and say you have not lodged your tax returns for 3 years, you go back to the platform or to the blockchain and you can't extract the data. You can only extract for the last, say, 6 months or 12 months, and all your previous years' records gone. So make sure you download all the data straight away from the platforms, blockchains, wallets, whatever you use. A loss of funds due to scam, again, it is still your responsibility to not to take extra risk. So if the auditor can see that you're taking excessive risk and you're losing the money due to scams or due to excessive risk platforms, so the auditor might qualify the report. So what it means, when auditor qualifies the report, it will get a red flag against your SMSF with ATO, and there is a risk of ATO audit. And when you have ATO audit, they ask a lot of questions, and trust me, with crypto, you don't want ATO to audit you. High number of transactions, again, so with the number of transactions, we've seen a lot of clients saying to me, oh, but we only had maybe 100 trades. It's not 100 trades, because one trade would actually have multiple transactions due to, because obviously buyer and seller, they don't buy and sell exact the same number of coins. Sometimes you want to buy 5 coins and they have to match you with 10 different, you want to buy 5 coins and they have to match you with 10 different sellers. So basically 100 transactions might end up with thousands, 100 trades might end up with thousands of transactions. And every transaction also will have a gas fees, these fees. And what it means that the auditor, and then they look at the transactions and they can see thousands, sometimes millions. I've seen millions transactions in SMSF. How do you think they're going to do sample testing? 10, 15, 20% of sample testing. Obviously, they will just qualify the audit report because it's too hard. NFTs and other exotic crypto project. This is where I'm saying, if you see something and you want to invest and it's something like some new project or some assets where, again, you have to go to the particular platform and you're not sure if you're allowed to invest SMSF funds in these coins. Always consult with SMSF specialist before you go and jump into any of such transactions or such an assets. So all these things might end up SMSF having a auditor's contravention report. And if you have auditor's contravention report, like I said, there is a chance of being audited by the ATO. How to stay compliant in SMSF. All right, this is a part which is very, very important for you guys to understand. Again, I'll talk about the basics because there are a lot of things you could do with crypto, and I can't put every single project and every single thing here. So just again, going back to the basics, try to keep it simple. First of all, keep SMSF coins separately, always. Don't save money on the extra wallet. Don't save $300 or $500. Trust me, you'll pay more in the end. So basically, buy another wallet if you want to keep your points in the wallet. Buy another wallet for SMSF. Buy another Ledger wallet or Trezor wallet or whatever you're using. But keep SMSF coins separately. Make sure SMSF name on the accounts. It's very important if you open an account with the exchange, like Matt mentioned before, most of exchanges, all Australian exchanges will have this option, open account under SMSF name, but even overseas exchanges, they started doing it because they know there are a lot of Australian SMSFs coming and investing. However, if you cannot open account under SMSF name, then you have to provide a declaration of trust, which again, when we do the financials, prepare the financials for our clients, we provide a declaration of trust to the auditor. So the auditor knows that these coins belong to SMSF. Have separate accounts and wallets for SMSF. Again, this is very important. And this is somewhere where like, a lot of clients still make mistakes. Have access to wallets and exchanges. Again, don't lose your records. Make sure you can log in. Make sure you can you have your API address, you have your public address, you have your you can provide the access for the auditor, because sometimes the auditor wants to go online and check the existence of the coins themselves. We definitely go online for our auditors, so we provide the screenshots, we provide the addresses, we provide the auditor everything, so the auditor is satisfied and doesn't qualify the report. Keep records again, so this is, very important. I keep repeating it, but records, again, a lot of platforms or blockchains, they don't have this access to, you can't go 3, 4, 5 years backwards and download the data. So just try to save the data, maybe, I don't know, like every 6 months or every time you make a transaction, especially if it's a big transaction. So try to keep the records and download the data, download the CSV file, do the screenshots. Again, guys, if you do the hundreds of trades, monthly or weekly or daily, it's impossible, right? And this is why in SMSF, try to keep it simple. Think about market value. Again, if you're investing in any projects, make sure that at 30th of June, there is a valuation tool available. It's either online, say if it's a platform where we can find the market value for this particular crypto investment, or if it's a project, say it's some crypto project, make sure that you can obtain the market value from the founders or from people who sold you this project. So yeah, market value is important. Be sensible with investing in crypto. Don't go crazy. Keep it simple and keep it more like buy and hold rather than Great. These are the basics for cryptocurrency in SMSF. So you can start with these basics and just to keep you safe and keep you compliant. Right. 8 ways to make your, actually it's 11 ways. I have to update that, and to make your auditor happy. Use crypto exchange with annual reporting. This is something what Matt was saying, and about when you want to have, okay, for the auditor, the ideal scenario, you open account in the crypto exchange, which is a centralized exchange, Australian exchange, say CoinSpot, SwiftX, Independent Reserve, you name it, but it has to be Australian centralized, and just keep all your coins there. It's ideal situation. I understand very often you don't want to do, you don't want to keep all your coins in this exchange because of safety reason, or because you want to diversify. They don't have option to buy a particular coin, or you want to do some staking, they don't have this option. I totally get it, but this is ideal situation. So just open exchange and buy your coins and keep your coins there from the auditor's purpose point of view. I'm not talking about safety point of view now. I'm talking about auditor's point of view. So basically use a crypto exchange with a SMSF account option. So usually it's Australian crypto exchange, because there are a lot of exchanges, overseas exchanges, they will not have this option to open account under SMSF name. So we want you to open account in Australian exchange. Ideally, again, we're talking about ideal situation now, right? Use a separate special crypto email for wallets and blockchains. This is something what you could do easily. You just create a separate email account. You call it, I don't know, nataliassmsf@gmail.com, and you use this email to open any wallets, or to start account with any blockchains or any wallets when you cannot put SMSF name on the account. This is what you do. You just use a separate email. Know your crypto public addresses. Very important. If you invest in crypto and you don't know what the crypto address is, public address is, then you have to probably go and educate yourself first, because some clients, I ask them this information, they don't even know what it is. So how you can invest in crypto? How can you take this risk without, like knowing what the address is, how to get it, where to get it, how to get API for your blockchain. Download full transaction history in CSV. Like I said, try to do it every 6 months to make sure you have access to the data, to make sure that you have these records and evidence for the auditor. Log in and do a screenshot of coins at 30th of June. This is what I tell all my clients. We send them email before 30th of June. We tell them to log in. So you don't need to log into Australian exchange. They will have all their they will have the report, full annual report, so you don't need to do it. But for your cold or hot wallet, for your other blockchains, you can log in at 30th of June and do a screenshot of your coins, SMSF coins at 30th of June, and make sure there is a date showing on the screenshot as well. So say if computers go to date, you put a date at 30th of June. So it will make our life, accountants' life much easier, and the auditor's life much easier, because they can see what was there at 30th of June. Because when you come to us to do your accounts and it's already like 1st of October, and I log into your wallet and see the balances, they might change since 30th of June. So I have to actually go and calculate the balance backwards, which sometimes, especially when you do a lot of trades, sometimes it's complicated. All right. Use right crypto tracking software. Again, crypto tax calculator, guys. This is, we've used different crypto tracking softwares in the past. And with the crypto tax calculator, again, I'm not biased here, but I just want to share my experience. I know guys invested a lot of money and a lot of time, and technology, it's all about money and time, right? in the past, I think, 2 years in their software. So what it means that software at the moment on the market, you know, like I don't know any better software in terms of the technology. And yeah, because of, like I said, because of investment in people, investment in, you know, technology, what they've done. Also, crypto tax calculator speaks to the BGO, which is SMSF software. And this is very important integration as well, because we can download the file from crypto tax calculator to the SMSF software. And it makes our life slightly easier. It's not easy to reconcile crypto and to process the crypto in SMSF, but at least we have this integration. At least something is something makes, you know, like our life easier. So use right crypto tracking software. Be sensible with crypto. Again, don't take excessive risks. Don't take exotic projects and coins unless unless you do it outside of super. Whatever you want to do, crazy things, do it outside of super fund. Do not chase high risk, high returns, because again, from my experience, just experience with the clients, usually people lose money. I haven't seen people made money with high risk, high returns projects. I've heard about someone who made a lot of money, but in my experience, I have not seen that people take excessive risk and they're making a lot of money. I have not seen it yet. Do not chase low gas fees, like I already explained before. You will pay for accounting fees, because the more accounts you have, the more complex to process and to prove to the auditor all these transactions. And do not become a crypto trader. This is something where some people think, oh, I just use my superannuation fund because of low tax environment and because I have this superannuation sitting there, and just become a crypto trader. No, don't do the crypto trading strategy. Don't implement crypto trading strategy in SMSF. Try to keep it simple. Try to keep it buy and hold. Again, it's not investment advice. It's just common sense advice. But do you want to add anything? Been talking
No, I'm okay. I think you're the auditor, you're the expert when it comes to this stuff. So yeah,
right.
I think those are pretty good.
All right, let's have a little bit of fun. So this is actually this is my favorite slide, I think. What could go wrong? This client, which is not a real client, but this is these are all my clients. I've seen it all. Meet John. John came to me and said, oh, you know, I set up a SMSF somewhere, so this is what I've done. Can you please help me? He invested in crypto in his own name because he didn't know that he needs to open an account under SMSF name. He transferred crypto in SMSF in specie, just a few $100,000 as a contribution, worked it in SMSF. Guess what? You cannot do it. He mixed his own coins and SMSF coins in one wallet. He just knew that these coins belong to SMSF and the other coins belong to his family trust, and the other coins belong to him personally. He knew that, but he kept them in one account. He opened 7 wallets and 5 exchanges. We've seen more. We've seen like multiple wallets and multiple exchanges. So some of them, people don't even remember that they opened them because they wanted to buy a particular coin and it was cheapest exchange for this particular coin. So they would go and open this account and they wouldn't even remember how to log into this account. So he invested in tokens with no liquidity. What it means, you basically have coins, but you cannot sell it because there is no liquidity, no one would buy it. And so you stuck with them. And there is also no market value because whatever's market value is shown on the platform, it's not the real market value because no one wants to buy it. So how do you determine the market value? Because it's supposed to be market value, right? He tried to make money on a trading, bot trading. Very exciting thing. 3 million transactions in SMSF, crashed my Excel because it just Excel couldn't handle the CSV file. Again, how do you suppose me to process it into, how do you suppose the auditor to do a sample, checking of $3 million transactions? No way. And actually, by the way, I've got a few clients with bot trading, so I haven't seen them making money with this. So don't do that in SMSF. Whatever you want to do outside SMSF, go crazy, go wild. Try to save on gas fees and use multiple exchanges. Again, he had to pay extra fees for SMSF accounting, because when you have all these exchanges and move these coins around just to save few $100s, you pay thousands on to the accountant and the auditor, you pay more. Invested in exotic coins and projects with no market value, NFTs. So I've seen clients with NFTs and with thousands of NFTs. And again, at the time, people had this, people got excited. They had this idea they're making money, but they were not educated about what you can do in SMSF and what's the best way of doing things. Usually this client come again from the different accountants or accounting platforms, and this is the only reason why they make mistakes, lack of education. That's it. Use blockchain with no reporting option. Again, they just wanted to buy the certain, wanted to invest in certain project, buy the certain token, and there is no reporting option. So how do you know, how to show me what's happened? Even with crypto tax calculator, and this is actually what I wanted to ask you, Matt. So when you have this type of blockchains with no reporting, what do people do? So you do it manually, right?
Yeah, so if most blockchains should have an API or like some sort of reporting standards that we can just extract the data from the blockchain scanner. But if it is the case that someone's using a really obscure blockchain that either they don't have enough documentation or we just don't have support for, then yeah, you're correct. You'd have to fill out like a manual CSV file and add the transactions in manually. It is a bit rare, but it does definitely happen.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen you can't actually have any data from the exchange. So yeah, this is where people again. So if we have to do it manually, think about, like how much I should charge you to basically to process all your transactions manually. So yeah, so basically this is what we've seen with the clients. We've seen much more, but I'm talking about big contraventions here. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars people invested in all these projects, and it ended up with contraventions, and even some clients ended up with audits from the ATO. So, all right. So what John said, I would be better off staying on Australian exchange and investing in stable coins. But this is actually the real saying from one of my clients. Again, I'm not advising you to invest in Australian exchange only. I'm just saying try to keep it simple. This is what I'm saying. All right, so John's outcome, John was scammed. John lost his login details for some of his wallets. John made capital loss with bot trading. John breached multiple sections of CIS Act, CIS regulations, and SMSF was reported to ATO, because all these breaches will be reportable to ATO. Okay, compliance consequences. You have to understand, guys, that audit the contravention report. Then auditor lodges a contravention report. It's obviously qualification of Part A of audit report when auditor doesn't have enough evidence for the SMSF financials. It's the auditor qualifies Part A. He's saying I don't have enough evidence of existence of these assets. And if there is a breach, the auditor qualifies the Part B of audit report. And the breaches, usually one breach is, this is the penalty unit, 60 penalty units. It's 18,780, almost 90 grand per breach. Every time you breach, it's one. Every time you do transaction, it's one breach if it's a wrong transaction. So section 62 regulation. Anyway, so it doesn't matter in terms of, don't think about, you know, what sections potentially you can breach. Just think about almost 19 grand if you breach per breach. Okay, so how Easy Super can help? And this is where we talk about what we do for our clients. If, for example, you're a new client and you want to establish a SMSF, we do provide a lot of education. Like I said, I spend 2-3 hours with clients educating them, and anytime they can call me during the process after they you know, SMSF establishment, when they decide to go for the investment in the SMSF, they're always welcome to call me and ask me questions. Can I do this? Can I do that? So how can I do it? I don't provide the investment advice. I do have a limited, I'm a authorized representative with a limited financial license, so I can provide strategic advice on SMSS, not the investment advice. But be mindful that cryptocurrency, it's not an investment product, it's not financial product. So what it means that usually it's not on the authorized financial licensee list. Cryptocurrency, it means the financial advisor most likely will not be able to talk to you about cryptocurrency because they are not allowed to, because they cannot do it under their license. It's not a financial product. Okay, so all other people who don't have license, they can talk about cryptocurrency. They can start their own business. They can educate you, but people with licenses, we cannot do that because you can sue us if we talk about crypto and you lose money. So no one is going to talk to you with license about crypto. Right. So basically, we have I have a team of accountants. We specialize in SMSF for last 20 years, and we specialize in crypto, which is very rare in Australia. So I don't even know another SMSF specialist, to be honest. And I know a lot of SMSF specialists, but I don't know another SMSF specialist with crypto specialization as well, who specialized in crypto, who's got so much experience like we do with crypto clients. Like I said, you know, like I won a couple of awards last year, actually 3 awards last year, to be modest. So basically, we guide you, we help you, we assist you to do the investments correctly. We don't advise you on investments, so we assist you to do it correctly, but you decide where you want to invest your superannuation. All right, so we have a special offer today, which is very exciting. So if you book the appointment with myself in the next 30 days, which is you can book through Calendly, you can go either on my website, smsfconsulting.com.au, or you can book through Calendly and Natalia SMSF Specialist. You can get $500 discount on SMSF establishment or SMSF compliance fees, so annual compliance fees, but you have to be quick. It's only for next 30 days. All right, so basically we talk about it. So this is how you can find us. Facebook, Easy Super, AU. You can join me on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube channel. This is something, guys, pay attention to, because I do put weekly videos. Any question about SMSF, not only cryptocurrency, we have clients with properties, we have clients with shares, with precious metals. We deal with any type of SMSF clients. And any question you have, you can send me a question and I might do a short video, short and simple. I keep it always short and simple and put it on YouTube for other people to share the knowledge and to educate. So I'm big on education, and like I said, you know, I like to keep it simple. And now I'll pass it to Matt. Matt is going to talk, share his screen and show, do a brief demo of the crypto tax calculator, and then we go to the questions as well, because there are quite a few questions. I know we go a little bit over time. I thought we go for 1 hour, but I probably talked too much.
I'll,
Um,
I'll squeeze this demo in as quick as possible.
Actually, not a lot of questions. So that's fine. So yeah, let's do the demo because guys, it's very important for anyone who has more than one exchange or one account to basically find the right software for your crypto tracking. Right. So can you share?
It says host disabled
Okay,
participant.
let me just. All right. So you should be able to do it now.
Perfect. Can you see my screen there?
Yeah.
Great. So Crypto Tax Calculator, you can head to our website, cryptotaxcalculator.io. We are an Aussie company, so we are born and bred in Sydney, but we do have support for, where is it? Okay, not sure where the country list is, but we have support for over 23 countries. So, if you're a US resident, if you're in the UK or a few other European countries, our software does have support for that. So I will just go ahead and log in. By the way, you can create a free account here. It takes about 10 seconds to sign up. We just ask you for your email, a couple other details, and it's free to actually play on the platform. It's just once you want your tax supports, that's when you do have to pay full plan. But just go ahead and show you what my account looks like. The first page that comes up is the integrations page. Now, this is my personal account. So you will notice I have quite a lot of different wallets and exchanges, which is not what you want to do with your SMSF. So with your SMSF, you should probably have a couple exchanges maximum, and maybe 1 to 2 wallets. But again, like Natalia and I said, you want to keep things simple. You don't want to have something like this, which I have here. But this is quite simple. You can go to add integration. You can only see a few exchanges come up. We're partnered with CoinSpot, BTC Market, SwiftX. We're all partnered with some of these exchanges. Let's just say you're using CoinSpot. Go ahead, type in CoinSpot. And here, there's a couple options on how you want to plug in your data from your CoinSpot account. So you can either do it via an API, which is like an automatic connection, or you can do it via a CSV file. What we do have on the right-hand side, though, are the instructions on how to get that CSV file from your CoinSpot account. Really easy to follow. It's pretty much saying, hey, log into your CoinSpot account, go to your transaction history, and download those files, upload it into here. Or if you're using an API key, we've got instructions here as well saying, hey, navigate to the API section within your CoinSpot account and then plug in your key and secret. We only ever ask for read-only keys. We will never ask you for trading permissions or anything like that. All we're doing here is we're just reading the transactions. And Natalia asked me at the very start of this session, do we share any information to the ATO or anything? Absolutely, we do not. If the ATO did ask us for user information, we definitely wouldn't give it to them, and we have no obligation to either. So the platform is quite secure in that sense. Once you have uploaded your data, you might also be using, we talk about wallets quite a lot. You might be using a MetaMask wallet to move from your exchange over to the wallet for generally increased security. All you need to do here is plug in your wallet address. So you can see I've got my MetaMask thing up here, copy and paste, plug that in, and then you can add that in just like that. Once you've imported all your data, you can head on over to the transactions page. Here, I've got quite a few transactions. If you've got a crypto SMSF, you will probably have a lot less. But again, this is one of my personal accounts. But essentially what we've done here is we've extracted all the data from the exchange or wallet that you're using, and we've automatically categorized it with the transaction. So as you can see here, I've received quite a lot of airdrops, a few realized profit transactions. You should generally have just buys and sells with crypto SMSFs. Again, you don't want to do any margin trading. You don't want to invest in NFTs because that gets quite complex. But essentially what we're doing here is we're calculating all your capital gains or losses or income based on the transactions that you have done. And then once you've gone through that, there is generally a bit of a review process if you have done complex stuff. But if you're just using crypto SMSFs, generally there shouldn't be too much to review. And then once that's done, you can head on over to the reports page to see your capital gains, your losses for the financial year period. you can see we've got about 12 different tax reports here, but the main one people generally after is the ATO My Tax report. With crypto SMSFs, you also want the inventory report because that's got your market value at the end of the financial year period. And as Natalia mentioned, we've got this BGL Simple Fund 360 data export. So you can download that XML file and then upload it into your BGL account, and it automatically gets pre-filled. So we do have all these other reports as well, but generally you don't need all the reports, just the ones that I highlighted there are generally the ones that people use for crypto SMSF. And last page I'll go through here is just the portfolio page. So portfolio page, this is more of a portfolio tracker. People like to log in, see how they're doing in the market. As you can see, this account hasn't done too well with the unrealized gains there, but it's nice to see what you're holding in the market. We also do have this tax loss harvesting tool where you can see what tokens haven't performed well, and you could potentially sell these off in order to minimize your tax burden for that financial year period. So yeah, that is about it. In terms of, a lot of people asked about our pricing and our plans. Let me just open this up. The main difference between, we've got 4 different types of plans. The main difference between the plans really is just your total number of transactions. If you're using a crypto SMSF, generally I'd say you'd fall under rookie and hobbyists. It'd be pretty rare to go up to investor with an SMSF. And as part of this, we also do have a 15% discount. Natalia, I'm not too sure if you've shared it yet, but I think
it will be in one of the emails after the webinar. You will receive email with the code for discounts. Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, I think the code was easy super 15, but Natalia can confirm that later. But yeah, that's just a bit of an incentive. So yeah, that's about it. Natalia, do we want to open it up to any questions or?
Yeah, let's just see what questions are. Okay, tax rate in SMSF, I already said 15%, 10%, or 0. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, so basically there is no question. So wow, amazing. So it means, you know, we covered most of the topics. So, but guys, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. Matt, where they can find you for the questions?
Yeah, you can, let me drop my email here. I'll just drop my email there if they want to contact me directly. I generally deal with, you know, accountants. I don't deal with support directly, but of course you can ask me whatever question.
Yeah, it's not a support question, but there is a question. I have an account. Can I set up one for personal and one for SMSF? This is what you should do. So this is actually, maybe it's a good thing to mention as well. So every entity, if you have coins in a company, in a trust, personal coins and SMSF coins, they have to have the separate accounts. So otherwise, how are you going to produce a tax return for all, the tax report for all your entities? So do you have any incentives for if someone has, for example, 5 different accounts, 5 different entities?
Yeah, generally, if you shoot us a message either to myself or just via our support chat in the bottom right corner of our page, and you say, hey, you know, I've got personal, but I want for my SMSF, we generally do provide you with some sort of discount on those second, third, or fourth accounts.
You warned against exotic products like, I called it exotic, you know, exotic products like NFTs. I imagine that the same applied to our new concepts. Example, crowd investing, masterworks. Yes, that's exactly right. This is what I call exotic because there are a lot of projects. Like I said, people call me almost like every week, some new project, oh, can I invest in this or that? First of all, I need to research about this project. I cannot know all the projects. I don't know, for example, what Masterworks is, right? Because there are a lot of projects. But if you send me information about this project, I'll let you know if you can invest in it or not. But obviously, so if you think about investing in any project, you have to think what the evidence I will get of my investment. Is it going to be like tokens issued? Is it going to be the agreement? What's going to be an evidence of my investment for the auditor and for myself, for my always, you know, like my own, you know, state of mind that everything is secure. So second, will I be able to obtain the market value at 30th of June for this investment, and how and where? And third, can I log in online and see this investment online, or it's completely offline investment? So basically, there are a lot of questions, but if you send me information about the project, I will be able to have a look at the project. But again, I would advise you to stay away in SMSF from any of the projects which doesn't have a proper record keeping. You can't do proper record keeping, paperwork, or some online tracking. I would just do it. I would say do it outside of SMSF. So I'm currently with Coinly. Oh, this is for you, Matt. I'm currently with Coinly for my tax. Is it easy for me to change to CTC?
Yeah, this is a question we get quite often. Unfortunately, at this stage, there's no easy way. You generally have to just re-import your data. If you do have a lot of transactions, we recommend just doing it by API, because otherwise you might have to upload several CSV files. But we are looking to add a feature hopefully soon, which makes it easy to, come from a competitor, import, an existing CSV file into our system. But yeah, at this stage, you will just need to import the data from scratch, unfortunately.
Yeah, and this is the other thing, because with the data, some exchanges and blockchains also have their data corrupted for some reason. There are errors as well, which we've seen, which is again, we're coming back to keep it simple. But anyway, guys, if you have any other questions, just feel free to send me email, to Matt. And thank you so much for your participation today. And I think it was very insightful, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you make a right decision and make a lot of money investing in crypto, but just make sure that you do it the right way.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.